Hi, I'm Scott Frangos for Web Direction, the content marketing agency, and today I'd like to talk about testing for content marketers. We recently did 4 tests for medicaldeviceevents.com. We worked with Joe Hage, president of Medical Marcom and the driving force behind the first annual medical device conference this spring in 2013. He's one of the clients who's finally tuned into content marketing, and he understands what testing can do for a content marketer. So I wanted to show you how this actually worked out for him at his website and talk about 4 principles that you can see right here. We'll talk about how you can test the design and messaging assumptions before you go to coding. This saves you some money. We'll talk about how you can make use of every click, that design is both an art and a science. So we're scientific in studying results, but sometimes we make an artistic decision, and we go with the flow. So let's take a look. First, we ran a test of banners that were going to stand at the top of the homepage and introduce the conference. Now this was an interesting one because on our team, considering options, we had people who argued for less black reverse text, white text on a black background, and that we might do a white background and that would be more popular. So we asked the question, and that's an important part of testing. Finely tune the questions you ask so you'll get an honest answer. We asked, click on the graphic version you feel best represents the event. More people clicked on the black version. So we went with that, and that worked out fine. It happens to work with the logo and design of the site, which you'll see in just a moment. Next, we tried testing a couple of different ways to message the event. And Joe is very particular about this. He believes in iterations, working from one to the next until he hones in on the best message and the best formatting for what he's presenting, and I think it's a great approach. Off to the left, you'll see we started with something we liked a lot at the beginning. We were calling it a 2-day accelerator. We liked the term. It was unusual. It was different. But we found when we asked, click on the graphic version you feel best explains this event, that the good old word conference drew more attention and more interest. And that's what we went with. We did a simpler click test to ask and test for which of 4 different versions of a graphic and accompanying the graphic for the event would best support the idea of hyper-growth for a medical device company. And that's really what we hope to inspire by the event and by the design of the website and other messages. So looking, we had a quizzical guy, which I kind of favored because from a graphic sense, he could look at the headline and kind of tilt his head up. Not a lot of people like that. We had a bunch of people working on hatching some ideas on the bottom left. Not a lot of people clicked on that. They did like the sort of standardized arrows going up on a bar chart indicating growth. And coming in second place was the picture of a massive building symbolizing wealth, power, success, if you will. So this is the part where it's an art and a science. Scientifically, the heat map shows we got more clicks on a standard cliche almost image of arrows and bars going up. So we elected to choose the second place image because It drew a significant number of clicks in answer to our test question, and it wasn't so cliche. Here's a medical device conference for exponential growth, simply named 10x, which is another part of the messaging that's interesting, and how it came out. You'll notice that we chose the picture of the building, which is right above me there, and we are calling it the Medical Device Conference, and it's black background with white text. Now let's look at one more test we did and something interesting we learned about this. Prior to this test, the banner headline was not of the kind that says click here for more information. But what we learned, even though it didn't ask for a call to action, is, well, let's take a look. Here's the click test on the website, and I'll just scoot up so you can see the question. But here's the interesting thing we learned. More than one thing here. But if you look at this, we asked if you wanted to consider coming to the event, but first wanted to learn more about it, where would your first click be? A number of people clicked on the banner itself. Prior to this, we weren't thinking of making it clickable, but we decided to do so. And what page do you think we decided to make it go to? Well, the other thing that this test told us was that most people were interested in the agenda. So now, if you click on the banner at the site, you'll see that it does go to the agenda page. I hover over the banner and click it, and now I can see the Medical Device Conference 10X Conference agenda. Okay, so we tested a design before we even coded it. It was a static JPEG from our designer, and we got all that information and made adjustments. Now we have to see if in reality it's proving itself out. So let's look at Google Analytics. And for the last part of our overview of testing, we can see that most of the people come to the site on the home page, and after the home page, I'll just scoot down a little bit here. What page do they go to most? The agenda page. You see that up at the top. This is a visitor flow analysis report that you can get in Google Analytics. We learned that testing the design and the messages before coding pays off, and we make use of each click. In this case, even the banner, if clicked on, goes to the most popular page, the agenda. Design is an art and science, so sometimes you go with your gut, and we chose the second picture instead of the more cliche arrows and bars going up, and we go with the flow. We're looking to see where the visitors flow through the site, and ultimately what goals do they accomplish. And Mr. Hage reports that he is getting a number of sign-ups already for the conference, which is in a couple of months from now. Have a good day.